This is TWiT.
Charbax is here. He's from is the ARM. What is the name of it? I always forget. Armcast?
ARM Devices.
ARMdevices.com.
.net.
Yeah. ARMdevices.net. Nicolas Charbonnier. And one of the things Nicolas does is he visits China a lot and comes back with stuff from China. Some of it fake. Now, this is not fake. This is real.
It's just a Bluetooth keyboard, foldable.
It's generic, though, right?
Yeah.
So a lot of companies will end up... that's cool. And you just keep that in your pocket? And
so maybe like $40 or $50, like retail, maybe?
And so you'll see companies like Belkin and other companies in the U.S. buy these, label them with their brand, and resell them.
Because the idea is you have a nice stand for your phone, and then it's like your laptop, potentially, you know?
Yeah. So, Andy wanted one of these. So you went there and you came back with an iPhone 6. That's nice. That's really nice. Looks just like my iPhone 6. Does Touch ID work? Because guess what? One of these is a clone.
It actually does have Touch ID.
One of these is real and one of these isn't. Can you identify the one that's running iOS and the one that's not? Can you identify the one that's actually an iPhone? Well, see, that'll tell you something. The side.
This is the same color here.
Yeah.
This is yours.
Okay, we'll do the one that's the same color, huh? All right. Wow. So it's just as thin?
I think so. I think it's even a little bit lighter.
It's looks pretty similar. It even says iPhone on the back. How much did this cost?
The flashes are different. Like the logo on the back, they told me to go to the store around the corner and they printed it on for like 40 cents. Because
so they can't sell it with the logo on the back.
When you buy it, it just boots up with Android logo. You have to do a code on it, and then it switches over to an Apple logo, and then you have to get the logo done by somebody else.
You're telling me they even have Touch ID on this?
Well, I think it's a fake Touch ID, but you can set it up.
It's a fake.
I think it's a fake because we tried before, and when you set it up, then any finger just works.
Right. It just works.
Yeah.
Wow. It really. So I think by now you've figured out that this one is real, and this. Wait a minute. No. This one is. This.
The one on camera left. Whatever the one on the other.
This one's real, Jeff?
No, fake.
How can you tell it's fake?
The flash is different.
Look at the button. The one with
the button is weird on the Touch ID, isn't it?
Smaller, clearer button, I think, is the real
Yeah.
And actually,
it does that too.
Yeah, they copied everything in the launcher.
But this is Android.
Yeah. Even like when you swipe from the bottom, it also has the menu and stuff.
Oh, when you swipe up?
Yeah.
Well, that's real. It's got AirDrop. Now, how much did you pay for it?
So it's $111. But that's like the first week price. It's probably going to be $80 like in 2 or 3 weeks.
And why would anyone buy an iPhone in China? I mean, the ones you brought before were clearly Android. They even said Android in a lot of cases. Yeah. This is obviously an attempt to do a counterfeit. Why would anybody buy an iPhone in China, given how expensive they are, if it would take some really expert eye to look at it? Jeff Needles says, I could tell because the flash looks different. But which one's right?
The one closer to the table.
Is the right one?
Yeah.
Yeah. You're right. Wow, that is pretty incredible. And they have notifications and everything. But see, the font's not quite the same, is it?
Yeah, it's only a 720p display. They say, but maybe it's not even real 720. It might be a fake.
Yeah, whatever. You can't trust them for anything.
Yeah, like everything is fake, and it's a little bit like, but that's how it is. But
and it works as a phone, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They could have done it with like dual SIM, but they didn't because
they want it to be as close as possible to the real thing, right?
Copy the real thing, so they just put one SIM card. Normally, every phone is dual SIM in China,
Yeah.
Every phone, because it costs like $1 to make a phone dual SIM or less.
Right.
Maybe 30 cents.
And as you travel around, you don't. They don't have data. They don't have phone roaming in the same way that we do here. So
yeah.
So you'd have 2 SIMs for as you travel.
And
around.
it's really cheap to get like a data SIM card. So you get a data only, and then you get the other SIM for your phone number, maybe.
I think we could have a fun little game here, where we take these.
Yeah.
And we just mix them up, and which one's the real one? Wow, that's pretty amazing.
So by like a month or two later, it'll be 95% of the market of iPhones in China will be the copies.
Really? So it is the case that people buy these instead of buying a real. Well,
Yeah.
why? You know, it's so expensive. How much is a real iPhone in
The
China?
real iPhone is exactly 10 times more. It's $1,100.
Times more.
Because there's an extra tax in China. The government wants to take some money from Apple, and Apple just puts up the price. So it's like $1,100 for the iPhone 6 Plus in China. So this is 10 times cheaper. Is it 10 times worse? I'm not sure.
What is this?
$1,000 cheaper.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
$1,000
$1,000 cheaper than a real one.
Is the camera as good?
The camera is much better than the one from last year. They improved it a little bit, but it's still
Still not an
45
iPhone
megapixel
camera.
or something.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. But again, people don't really care. This has all the functionality they want, and it has the prestige of being identical to an iPhone. And the whole idea is you sit down at a table, you pull this out, you put it on the table, and you've got the stat. Oh, you have an iPhone 6 Plus. Wow, you must be wealthy. That's amazing. Of course, not since so many counterfeits are sold. That probably doesn't carry a lot of cachet to have one because wow, that's amazing. And the color's pretty close, but not quite exact.
But they did improve on the structure. It's not bendable, actually. but I mean,
wow, it even has passbook.
if you want, you can test that live on. If you want to get some views, no, I'm joking. Maybe not.
See if we can bend it. I'll bend
Yeah.
mine, and you bend yours.
Yeah.
No,
If I get
wow.
100 comments on my video about it at the Apple headquarters, I'll bend it. I'll bend one of these.
So where's your video? YouTube.com/Charbax?
Armdevices.net.
Armdevices.net. Oh, it's on your website. Of course
Yeah.
it is. ARMDEVICES.net. Charbax comes every year with the phones from China. You remember the clones he brought last year? These are much better. Is that because you've found better ones, or because in fact they've gotten better at doing this?
Well, the components just get better and better, and even like a $25 tablet in China is actually quite good now. And
Are they made by Foxconn? I mean, is this something that they're doing late night after they finish their iPhone run, or?
I think somebody from Foxconn has a brother or a sister or something, and they just leaked them. You know, I actually bought the iPhone 6 2 months before Apple announced it.
Wow.
The small one was and the copy was on the market in July, and I thought it was just based on some Photoshop or something, you know, but.
So the processor is not obviously an A8X or an A8. It's a MediaTek, but it is a Cortex A7 with a Mali 400 GPU, a gig of RAM, 8 gigs of flash. So these are a little bit lower spec. One of the reasons they're less expensive is that, of course. There's not the special tax either.
It's the same CPU and the same RAM and the same configuration as Android One, which is Google announced the one that they're going to support for 2 years all over India and everywhere.
Right.
So in theory, it could have like Android 5, Android 6 for 2 years, potentially.
And 2.2 is 17,829, so it's a fairly low performance.
It's kind of like an iPhone 5, I think.
Yeah.
It's similar to a Nexus 4 in performance, so it's a couple years old performance of the high-end stuff. Maybe.
They even come in a box.
Yeah, there's the box.
That's the same as the, very similar to the Apple box, even down to the slight embossing, not super embossing.
See the Android logo?
When you start it up, that's what you see.
and you can take off the Android logo if you just do a code in the dialer, and then it reboots, and then there's no more Android logo. It's just the Apple logo.
Do they do that because they're worried about getting in trouble?
Well, the customs say as long as there's no logo, it usually goes through most countries, you know.
So it doesn't pretend to be an iPhone, so you get that done later.
Yeah, then they send the equipment separately where you actually go in a thing and they just put the logo on. You know?
Now, I could slide to unlock, but instead I'm going to use my Touch ID.
Yeah, you just have to set it up in settings.
Oh, it's not set up yet. Okay.
Yeah.
What is
the
this?
fake settings.
Why do I keep seeing that? Oh, they have something better. Look at this.
Yeah, so you have the Android.
Apple doesn't even have that.
It's an accessibility thing.
You can turn it off in accessibility?
No, you can turn it on the actual one.
Maybe next year the Chinese will step it up and actually do copies that have a bunch of functions that the real ones don't have and make them better.
When they sell them in China, don't they have Chinese characters, or did you change it to English, or does
Yeah, Android supports every language.
so it doesn't matter?
Yeah, it's just Android. They changed a little bit the UI. I mean, the launcher, they work a little bit on it, I think, but maybe it's somebody else somewhere else, and maybe in the USA or something that's making this launcher, and they just take it.
Wow. Let's see. So did you change it when you bought it? Change it to English?
Yeah, I chose English.
It didn't come in Chinese.
If you go a little bit back, you can see update. If you click update, it says there's an iOS 8.02 update available. But if you click...
You're not going to get... That would be bad if you got that.
Yeah, if you click install now, nothing happens. So it's just like a joke thing.
It's a blank page. Wow. It's just a graphic. Damn. There's a little sense... Oh, developer options is something we don't have on the iPhone, but... Are there SD cards in this?
They should have done it with the micro SD card slot, but I don't think there's a micro SD. I didn't try to open the little thing on the side. Look at that. If you hit the home button, maybe there's a... because I installed... No, on the other one. So I installed... you can have any launcher you want.
That's mine. I'm putting that away so I don't accidentally let that go. I can have any launcher I want?
You can have, I put on the, what's it called, the Google Now launcher, and then it looks like a Nexus.
Oh, yeah, look. See, so the launcher is actually running as a wow. So then it looks like a Nexus. Let's see.
Yeah.
How do I change the launcher?
I don't know if I put on that one, this one.
Oh, you have to put the software on there. Sorry.
It's just, if you prefer any other launcher, you can just put it on.
Wow.
That's the thing about Android.
Wow. And these are fully unlocked, of course. Any GSM phone?
Yeah. So I think the story is not so much that it's a copy, right? It's just, the price of electronics. Maybe sometimes some of the phones, especially iPhones, are very overpriced. Because the real iPhone costs $250 to make. Like all
Now, clearly they made some compromises on this to make it cheaper. But you're right. A full iPhone certainly isn't going to be 10 times more to make. It's going to be maybe twice as much.
Supposedly it's 250, but maybe I think it's probably less than 200 that Apple pays for each phone.
Right.
And then they sell them for 750.
Nice markup.
It's a huge
I think, wasn't
business.
the Apple rule 3x cost plus $50? I think that was the Apple rule. So if it cost 200 to make, you'd charge $650 to buy it.
So the $50 is just for the stock options or something?
I don't know what the $50 is. I don't know where that rule came from.
It's funny because actually with the iPhone 6, the profit margins have just increased even more. Before it was just like $500 per phone.
They're a business. What do you want? How else do you get the stock price to $800? That's just the way it is, my friend. Welcome to America. I don't know what country you come from, Charbags, but that's how we do it here.
My main phone is a $30 phone. This is 3G.
This looks like the old iPhone 3GS.
Yeah.
Let's see. And you actually use this for your phone?
Yeah, I use it, but I haven't charged it for a couple of days because it's my Chinese SIM card in there.
Right.
But this is the cheapest 3G Android phone in the world. It's $30.
$30. Wow. That's awesome.
It runs a single core.
Why don't you use one of these iPhones for your phone?
It's too expensive.
Oh, all right.
Yeah. Because I could fly to the US for the same amount of money as an iPhone.
Yeah.
So
how often do you go to China?
I go every couple of months.
Yeah.
I filmed 60 factories. I go in the factory and I film how they make the phone. But I cannot make the video in the iPhone copy factory because I think it's the Chinese mafia running it.
Oh, yeah.
So,
I wouldn't walk in there with a camera. That seems...
My mom doesn't let me go there.
Your mom doesn't... My mom does not let me come here.
Yeah.
So can we buy one of these from you? Do you want one, Jason, for All About Android? I bet you do.
So I promised John C. Dvorak he can have one. So there's at least one for him.
Okay, he won't pay for it though. He's a cheapskate.
Yeah, it's like a what's it called? It's for the No Agenda.
He wants this for No Agenda?
No, I mean what's it called? It's my No Agenda donation.
It's your donation. That way you should get to be a knight for that. I think.
Oh, really?
You have to charge American prices, not Chinese prices. Just tell him. I'll tell him that. I'll say, hey John, no problem. Just make him a knight. Yeah. And then you can have this.
Apple.
Which one did he want? Silver, white?
Yeah, I'm not sure which one he wants. I sent him an email. I don't know. So perhaps I can leave him one, and maybe you can have the other one if you want.
All right, we'll buy the other one from you.
All right.
How much? 110?
Yeah, 112 or 111.
$111? All right. I'll get my wallet. I think John's a rose gold guy. I agree. Let's give him the gold phone.
So when is John C. Dvorak going?
Well, he was here last week. I don't know when he's going to be back.
The Cranky Geeks. Why can you not do the Cranky Geeks over there?
He should do Cranky Geeks over there. We've asked him. He doesn't want to do it anymore. He's tired. He's old. He doesn't want to do it anymore. Look, they even have a compass. They even have the same calibration system. Jason, you want this for All About Android, right?
Oh, we would totally take a look at
Yeah,
this.
then I'll use it on Mac Break Weekly. We'll get $111 worth of out of it. Look at that.
It's unique, I'll say that. Actually, is it, though? Because from what you're talking about in China, it's everywhere. So
Actually, this compass doesn't
unique
seem
here.
to do diddly.
No, that compass looks pretty bad.
It's not. It's just a fake compass. It's not north isn't that way. You can't decide what north is.
You're on a boat right now.
Now, what's this? Is it an iPad?
This is like an iPad Air, but running an octa-core all-winner A80 processor, and it's just less than $150.
But there's no physical home button on this.
Less than $150 retail.
Wow.
So it has the same display as an iPad Air.
Wow.
It has, it's actually lighter a little bit. It can have the same size battery, but this one they saved $10, so they have like 60% of the battery's capacity. But if for just $10 more, you can have the full same battery as an iPad Air.
Wow.
And I think the processor is better potentially because it's octa-core. But it's a special octa-core, A15, A7.
How do I get back to home? I don't know how to get home.
Bottom there.
Oh, it's Android.
Yeah, here.
I forgot.
So,
wow.
so these guys, all winner, they were nowhere like 3 years ago. I didn't know what it was.
So they're not pretending to be an Apple device, but they're making using similar parts to an Apple iPad, making it look somewhat like an Apple iPad, but they don't hide the fact that it's running Android.
But most of the tablets shipping out of China are actually not really copies of anything. You know, like
Right.
even though if you use the same display as an iPad Mini, it's really hard to make a design that's not very similar to an iPad Mini because it's like built into the display how it's used. You
Right.
know? So
Yeah, no,
if you use this one also, it has to look like similar to an iPad Air because
That's how it is.
because that's how they connect inside and stuff, and it's
Right.
the same display. So
Right.
Apple has like 6 months exclusivity with the display makers, and then after that it opens up to the whole market. And so Allwinner, the chip makers there,
It's 442.
3 years ago I didn't know about them at all, and now last year they shipped 42 million Android tablets, and this is insane. This is like
All to the Chinese market, right?
they're number one. I mean, after Apple, it's Allwinner. It's them.
All winner.
Allwinner is the name of the chip maker.
Never
and
heard of
they're-
that. Yeah. Now, this is using kernel 3.4.39 Yao Wen Jun at Xdroid 10. So this is some Chinese version clone or fork of Android. It's not a.
Yeah, actually, it's possible to update it. I haven't updated it yet. So they have update, and they'll have Android 5 for sure.
Wow. And this is A8, A80 actually, Ultra Octa A80, 8-core Cortex A15.
The cheapest Allwinner tablets are like $25.
Wow.
But then it's like a 7-inch, and you get basic 7-inch for $25. But of course, that's the price out of the factory. So if somebody buys for $25, you have to buy 1,000 pieces, and then you can, try to resell them. But
It's actually a good-looking screen. We can't see it fully because there's a little plastic protector on it, but it looks good. Looks
They
really
also
good.
have knock on wake up. Like they have the same as the LG. You can
Right.
knock on it to wake it up.
All right. Wow.
So the next thing, I think next year maybe the Chinese are gonna bring stuff that it's actually a whole bunch better than whatever is coming out over here. Because
Do you think Americans will buy it though? Aren't they going to just assume, gosh, it's got to be laden with Chinese spyware?
But HP, for example, is doing tablets with the Allwinner CPU, and MSI is doing that, and
Right.
I think Lenovo and Asus are gonna launch a Chromebook with a Rockchip CPU. It's gonna be $149. I'm a huge fan of Chromebooks. You don't really like Chromebooks, right?
I do actually, I've come around on that. I actually do like Chromebooks.
Because I think Chromebooks is like, the dream of the thin client.
Right.
And
Right.
this is the first time it's going to be mass
Right.
market and, like a consumer thing to have a thin client kind of device. And so it's going to start at $149. Maybe within a year, it'll be $99. You get like something like a MacBook Air running Chrome OS.
Right.
And that's because the tablets and the phones, I think they're kind of like for fun, but Chrome OS is like for work, That's why I think it's cool. And you could maybe get also like a Chromecast, a little Chromecast dongle for like 30, 40, 50 something dollars and run Chrome OS on it. So it could be like a desktop.
I have no idea what this says, but I'm going to say okay. I don't know. Now I'm in trouble. It's like Dvorak got to it.
Yeah, the app stores in China, some of them have all the paid apps for free. They
Right.
just include all the paid
Well, in
apps.
fact, of course, Apple recently had a problem with Chinese apps and malware. ARMDevices.net Charbacks is Nicolas Charbonnier, and he comes back every year with goodies from China. And, wow, thank you, Charbacks. That's awesome.
Thanks for checking this out.
Wait a minute, now which one is yours? Okay, I'm going to save it. You're giving this to Dvorak, so you get the night thing. Here, that's your plastic bag. And then my wallet is in my drawer. Could you get my wallet? I'd give Charbacks $111.
So I come here for a conference this next week. It's printed electronics. It's about flexible display, flexible PCBs.
Wow.
It's about, like within a year or two, maybe the iPhone 7, it'll be unbreakable. Because the main thing that's problem with the phones is that the screens break,
The whole thing about bending them, that's actually Apple, so that it can next year say, and now
it can
bendable.
Bend. Now it can bend for real.
For real.
One more thing, it bends.
That's it. Isn't that an amazing wallet? I got this in China. It's a knockoff. Actually, this is from China. Let me see if I have $111 in here. That 1, 2, 4, 5, and...
But maybe we shouldn't do that on video because Apple can sue me.
Why would they sue you?
I don't know.
You're not selling this as an Apple device.
No, I'm just bringing it to you as a journalist. You're checking it out, Yeah. So if anyone working at Apple is watching...
Nothing happened.
Yeah, I'll see you tomorrow at the Apple headquarters if you want. You can.
Which
check it
one
out.
do we want, Jason? We got the gold. Do you want the silver or the black?
Oh, boy. Let's go with the silver.
All right. This
Why?
one is,
I don't know.
this is the House clone phone.